Grief. When the world expects you to move on, but your heart refuses to let go. Some losses break you, others remake you entirely. Some losses are so devastating, they rewrite the very fabric of who we are. When Charlotte Williams lost her 6-month-old daughter Lily in a car accident, she thought her life as a maternity nurse was over. How do you care for other people's babies when you couldn't protect your own? But sometimes the deepest wounds become our greatest strength. Sometimes grief doesn't destroy us, it transforms us into something we never knew we could be. This is Charlotte's story, a journey through the darkest valley of loss and the unexpected light she found on the other side. If you've ever wondered how people survive the unthinkable, if you've ever questioned whether broken hearts can truly heal, stay with me. And please subscribe to our channel and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. You're part of a community that believes in the power of human resilience. Charlotte Williams had always believed that some people were born to nurture. At 34, she moved through the maternity ward of Chicago General Hospital with quiet confidence, her hands gentle but sure as she cradled newborns, her voice a soft whisper that calmed even the most restless babies. "Another beautiful morning, little ones," she would say during her rounds, checking each bassinet with the same care she gave her own daughter. 6-month-old Lily was Charlotte's miracle. After 3 years of trying and 2 miscarriages, she had finally arrived, perfect, healthy, with Michael's dark eyes and Charlotte's stubborn chin. The transition back to work after maternity leave had been harder than expected, but Charlotte found strange comfort in caring for other people's babies during the day, knowing her own was safe at Little Angel's daycare just 10 minutes from the hospital. Michael often teased her about it. "You spend all day with babies, then come home to our baby. Don't you ever get tired of crying and diapers?" "Never," Charlotte would laugh, bouncing Lily on her hip. "I get to see miracles every day at work, then come home to my own miracle." That Friday morning started like any other. Charlotte arrived at 7 a.m. sharp, her coffee still steaming, her scrubs pressed and ready. The maternity ward was unusually quiet, only 4 babies in the nursery, all sleeping peacefully. At 2 p.m., Charlotte clocked out early, a rare luxury. She had worked extra shifts all week, and Janet, her supervisor, had insisted she take the afternoon off. "Go spend time with that beautiful baby of yours," Janet had said. The drive to Little Angel's daycare took exactly 8 minutes. Charlotte knew because she had timed it countless times, always anxious to see Lily's face light up when she walked through the door. Mrs. Rodriguez, the daycare director, met her at the door with Lily in her arms. "She's been such a good girl today, ate all her lunch, took a nice long nap." Charlotte took Lily into her arms, breathing in that sweet baby smell that never got old. "Were you good for Mrs. Rodriguez, sweetheart? Mama missed you so much." The drive home should have been routine. Charlotte had made this trip hundreds of times, down Maple Street, left on 5th Avenue, right on Oak Drive. Lily was babbling happily in her car seat, making those adorable sounds that weren't quite words, but felt like conversation. The light at the intersection of 5th and Oak was red. Charlotte stopped, checking her phone for the time. 3:15. Perfect. She would have the whole afternoon with Lily before Michael got home from work. The light turned green. Charlotte pressed the gas pedal, moving forward into the intersection she had crossed 1,000 times before. She never saw the pickup truck running the red light at 60 miles per hour. She never saw the driver slumped over the wheel, reeking of alcohol at 3 in the afternoon. She never had time to react, to swerve, to protect the most precious thing in her world. The sound came first, metal crushing metal, glass exploding, the terrible screech of tires that couldn't stop in time. Then silence. A strange, hollow silence that seemed to swallow the world. Charlotte's first conscious thought was of Lily, not the pain in her ribs, not the blood trickling down her forehead, not the deployed airbag pressing against her chest, just Lily. "My baby," she whispered, trying to turn around. "Lily, Lily, Mama's here." No sound, no crying, no babbling, just terrible, impossible silence. The ambulance ride to Chicago General felt like a nightmare. Charlotte kept asking about Lily, but the paramedics' answers were careful, evasive. "She's being taken care of. The doctors are waiting. Just focus on staying calm." But Charlotte knew. She had worked in hospitals long enough to read between the lines, to understand what careful words meant when spoken with that particular gentleness. 3 hours. Charlotte sat in the family waiting room of her own hospital, still in her blood-stained scrubs, while doctors she had worked alongside for years fought to save her daughter's life. Michael arrived within 30 minutes, his face pale with terror. At 6:47 p.m., Dr. Martinez emerged. Charlotte knew before he spoke. She had seen that walk before, that careful composure that doctors wore when they had to deliver the worst news in the world. "I'm so sorry," he said quietly. "We did everything we could. The injuries were too severe." "She didn't suffer, Charlotte. She didn't suffer." The world ended. Not dramatically, not with screaming or fainting or any of the reactions Charlotte had imagined. It just ended, like someone had turned off all the lights and sound and color in the universe. The funeral was a blur. Colleagues from the hospital, friends, family members who flew in from across the country, everyone said the same things. "She's in a better place. God needed another angel. Time heals all wounds." Charlotte wanted to scream at them all. Lily wasn't supposed to be an angel. She was supposed to be a toddler, a kindergartner, a teenager rolling her eyes at her mother's jokes. She was supposed to have a life. 8 months. That's how long Charlotte had been living in what felt like a gray, airless bubble. She hadn't returned to work. She barely left the house. The world outside seemed impossibly bright and loud, full of people who still had their children, who still believed that terrible things happened to other people. The worst part were the dreams. Every night, Lily would be there, sometimes as the 6-month-old she had been, sometimes older, walking and talking and asking why Mama hadn't protected her. Charlotte would wake up reaching for her, and the reality would crash down all over again. The breaking point came on a Tuesday afternoon in March. Charlotte was cleaning out closets when she found a box containing her nursing school graduation cap and her very first set of scrubs, the one she had worn during her pediatric rotation when she had first discovered her love for caring for babies. She found herself on the bathroom floor, Michael's razor in her hand, thinking that maybe this was the only way to make the pain stop. Maybe this was the only way to see Lily again. Michael found her there 20 minutes later. "No, Charlotte," he whispered, kneeling beside her, carefully taking the razor away. "No, Charlotte, please, I can't lose you too." The psychiatric ward at Chicago General was on the 4th floor, far from the maternity unit. Charlotte spent 2 weeks there, learning words like complicated grief and survivor's guilt. She met other people who had lost children, hearing her own pain reflected in their stories. Dr. Patricia Chen explained during one of their sessions, "Grief isn't something you get over, it's something you learn to carry." The question is, how do you want to carry it? On her last day in the hospital, Dr. Chen made a suggestion that seemed impossible. "Have you thought about returning to work? Not full-time, not right away, but maybe caring for other babies could be part of your healing." Charlotte's first instinct was to say no. How could she trust herself with other people's children when she had failed to protect her own? But something in Dr. Chen's words stuck with her. Maybe the question wasn't whether she deserved to care for babies again. Maybe the question was whether other babies deserved to have someone who understood how precious they were, how fragile, how irreplaceable. The employee parking garage at Chicago General looked exactly the same, but everything felt different. Charlotte sat in her car for 10 minutes before her first shift back, gripping the steering wheel and trying to remember how to breathe. Janet was waiting for her at the nurse's station, her smile warm but careful. "Welcome back, Charlotte. We've missed you." "I'm not sure I'm ready for this," Charlotte admitted. "Nobody expects you to be ready," Janet said gently. "We just expect you to try. One day at a time, one baby at a time." The first week was agony. Every baby reminded her of Lily. Every parent's worried question felt like an accusation. How could she reassure them when she knew better than anyone that sometimes the worst things happen to the most innocent people? Slowly, gradually, something began to shift. Not healing, not yet, but a recognition that her grief and her calling didn't have to be mutually exclusive. She could miss Lily desperately and still find meaning in caring for other babies. 3 months into her return, Charlotte was assigned to care for a premature baby girl, born at 32 weeks, fighting for every breath in the NICU. The parents were young, scared, taking turns at her bedside around the clock. "Will she be okay?" the mother asked Charlotte. "Please tell me she'll be okay." Charlotte looked at this frightened young woman and saw herself 8 months ago, desperate for reassurances that no one could give. "She's a fighter," Charlotte said carefully, "and she has the best team taking care of her. But most importantly, she has you. She knows you're here." For the first time since losing Lily, Charlotte felt something she thought was gone forever: hope. The call came at 11:30 p.m. on a Thursday night in October. Charlotte was working the night shift when an emergency arrived, a premature delivery at 28 weeks. The baby was so small she could fit in Charlotte's palm, and she was in severe distress. As Charlotte worked alongside the neonatal team, something felt different. She was more attuned to every detail, every subtle change in the baby's condition. When the baby's heart rate began dropping again, Charlotte studied the tiny chest and felt a nagging sensation. "Doctor," she said quietly, "look at her color and the way she's positioning her arms." "What are you thinking?" Dr. Martinez asked. "Pneumothorax," Charlotte said with sudden certainty. "I think she has a collapsed lung." The X-ray confirmed Charlotte's suspicion. Without quick treatment, the baby could have died. The procedure was successful, and by 2 a.m., the baby's vital signs had stabilized. Charlotte realized something had fundamentally changed. The hypervigilance that came from her own loss, the way grief had sharpened her awareness of how quickly things could go wrong. It hadn't made her a worse nurse, it had made her better. She thought about Lily as she drove home that morning, but the thoughts didn't bring the usual crushing pain. Instead, she felt something that might have been gratitude. Lily's brief life had taught Charlotte to treasure every moment, to notice every detail, to fight for every baby as if they were their own. "I saved a baby tonight," Charlotte told Michael when she got home. "I really saved her." "Lily would be proud of you," Michael said quietly. "I think she was there with me tonight, guiding my hands, helping me see what others missed. I think this is how her love continues through every baby I help save." Over the following months, Charlotte threw herself into her work with renewed purpose. She became the nurse other staff members called when they needed a second opinion. Her colleagues began to joke that she had a sixth sense about babies in distress. But Charlotte knew it wasn't a sixth sense. It was love, Lily's love, transformed into vigilance, into skill, into an unshakable commitment to protecting other people's children. A year later, Charlotte and Michael started the Lily Foundation, a nonprofit organization that provided scholarships for nurses specializing in neonatal care. They wanted to ensure that other babies would have advocates, protectors, people who understood how precious and fragile life could be. "Our daughter's life was short," Charlotte said at the foundation's first fundraising dinner, "but her impact will be eternal. Every nurse we train, every baby we help save, every family we support, that's Lily's legacy." 3 years later, Charlotte Williams stands in the NICU of Chicago General Hospital, but everything has changed. The grief lines around her eyes have softened into something deeper, wisdom earned through unimaginable pain. The Lily Foundation has grown beyond her wildest dreams. 47 hospitals across the United States now implement the Lily Protocol. Over 200 nurses have received scholarships to specialize in neonatal care. And the numbers that matter most, 136 babies saved in situations where they might have been lost. In her office, Charlotte keeps a small framed photo of Lily, 6 months old, bright eyes, perfect smile. But it's not a shrine to what was lost, it's a reminder of what continues. Next to it sits a growing collection of thank you cards from families whose babies she helped save. The latest one reads, "Dear Charlotte, Emma is walking now. She took her first steps yesterday and I thought of you. Thank you for seeing what others missed. Thank you for bringing our daughter home." Charlotte touches Lily's photo gently. "Another one, sweetheart. Another baby who gets to grow up because you taught Mama to see with her heart." The pain of loss never completely disappears. There are still moments when Charlotte sees a 6-month-old and feels the familiar ache, still nights when she dreams of what might have been, but those moments are balanced now by something else, by the knowledge that Lily's brief life created ripples that continue to spread, saving lives in ways Charlotte never could have imagined. As she finishes her shift and heads home, Charlotte passes the memorial garden the hospital created in Lily's honor. A small plaque reads, "In memory of Lily Williams, whose love continues to protect the most vulnerable among us." Charlotte doesn't stop to read it anymore. She doesn't need to. She carries those words with her every day, in every gentle touch, in every life she helps save. Lily's love didn't end with her death. It just found new hands to work through. Charlotte's journey teaches us something profound about the human spirit, that our deepest losses don't have to define the end of our story. They can become the beginning of our purpose. When life breaks us open, we have a choice. We can let the pain consume us, or we can let it transform us into something we never knew we could become. Charlotte chose transformation. She chose to let her grief become her gift to the world. Her story shows us that even in our darkest moments, love finds a way to heal, not just ourselves, but the world around us.